Welcome to InfoHub. In our headlines, President switches on Radio Oriala reiterates calls for regional administrations to work with the government. And the national park is using sunlight to light the night. Stay tuned for the details of these and more.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
We begin by telling you that Radio Oriala was launched by President David Granger. Paul McAdam has more.
In remarks at the commissioning of the latest community radio station to be established, President David Granger noted that no society can function without information, access to which, he reminded, was a public good.
If you're a farmer, you need information. If you're a businessman, you need information. Whatever you're doing, you're buying and selling, you need information. So today we are bringing a vehicle, a medium, a means of public information to Oriala and Separuta. Everyone can use the radio that you're getting. It's free.
The new radio station, Tushaw of Oriala, David Henry, said will be of great benefit to the Riverine community for generations to come.
This new development is a historical milestone that will trigger further development in numerous areas such as the education, sports, tourism, forestry, culture, and agriculture sectors of both Oriala and Separuta. Learning and employment opportunities will be provided in particular for our youths to become journalists, radio announcers, and other technical staff of Radio Oriala.
Radio Oriala on 91.5 FM was made possible through a tripartite partnership with the Government of Ghana, National Communications Network, and the Ghana Telephone and Telegraph Company. Among those in attendance at the launch were Acting Prime Minister Carl Greenidge, Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicock, Minister of Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton, Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Valerie Garridalo, GT&T's CEO Justin Ned, and high-level regional administration officials. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
Paul joins us again. He tells us that the head of state reiterated his call for regional administrations to work with the government.
During delivery of remarks at the launching of Radio Oriala on 95.1 FM, President David Granger highlighted East Berbice Quarantine, or Region 6's importance and the need for all to work together for its development.
I expect the regional chairman to be here because this is part of his region. And there's also local government represented by somebody named David. I don't like to go to meetings without somebody named David, you know. So whenever there's a David, I feel comfortable. I sit down next to David. But what you see, ladies and gentlemen, are three levels of government: the local level, the regional level, and the central or national level. But we have to work together. We can't fight each other. We can't absent ourselves. We can't stay away.
President Granger further emphasized the important roles of the region, which holds several tongues.
I believe that every region must have its own aerodrome. So business people can come from other countries. They don't have to use backtrack. They can come in front track and do legitimate business. They must have colleges so their young people don't have to go to Georgetown to go to the best secondary schools.
The head of state added that his government will continue to work for the socio-economic development of the region.
They must have law courts. So that criminals can be punished. They must have hospitals. They must have police stations and banks. They must have ports. They must have a good highway system so people can start driving from Corriverton to Oriala. They must have television. They must have passport offices so people can get their birth certificates without leaving their regions, have passports without leaving their region. These are things we're working on.
Radio Oriala on 95.1 FM is the sixth in a number of community-based radio stations commissioned in keeping with the government's pledge to bridge the information gap between coastal and hinterland communities. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The Department of Environment is calling attention to the matter of fires being lit in the botanical gardens. The department is requesting the public respect public spaces and understand the rationale in having the spaces constructed the way they are. This action can result in loss of life and limb. It is also illegal and persons caught can be prosecuted. Chief Geologist and Manager of Ratio Oil Ethan Eisenberg says he is confident in Guyana's oil future. Stefan Gabriel has more.
I'm 99.9% sure that what you see now in Guyana is only the beginning of a huge, wonderful basin.
At a public lecture hosted by the Ministry of Natural Resources on Friday, Eisenberg explained there are similarities between Guyana and the Levant Basin, which is located in the Mediterranean Sea off the coast of Israel. Israel, who had a small oil production on the coast, had dug 28 dry wells offshore in 1999 before making the huge Leviathan discovery between 2010 and 2013. The find of 35 trillion cubic feet of methane, Eisenberg said, can supply Israel for over 60 years.
We decided to copy the success of Leviathan to other countries. The two countries at the top of my list after making a study was Guyana, Suriname Basin, and Mozambique. And this was in 2011.
Ratio established its subsidiary Russian Oil Guyana Limited in the country in 2011. Ratio Oil is an investor in the Kaichor block, which is operated by ExxonMobil.
The similarity helped me to have confidence, to go to the investors and tell them, let's take it. Because it's not obvious.
Eisenberg is considered the visionary behind exploration of the deep waters of the Levant Basin and is the prospect generator of the Leviathan natural gas discovery, which is the second largest gas field in the Mediterranean. For InfoHub, Stefan Gabriel.
An Italian oil and gas exploration company, ENI, could be the new kid on the block if the government of Guyana gives the go-ahead for it to carry out exploration offshore Guyana. Details from Alexis Rodney.
Earlier today, Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman met with the company's Senior Vice President Guido Zappa and team at his ministry, where he received a packaged plan of action from the company. Speaking to InfoHub today, minutes after the meeting, Minister Trotman said the oil company had since last year expressed its interest to the government here.
So we had a long discussion with them about their practices elsewhere, what it is that they are looking for. And obviously the Guyana Basin has become attractive, and they've assured us that they are not worried about the Venezuela issue, that they're prepared to proceed. Should there be any cause or concern, they will manage and handle it.
According to Minister Trotman, ENI, partly owned by the Italian government, has an excellent track record in terms of safety and good environmental practices. The company, he added, has been lending its support to other countries, helping to develop their renewable energy capacity.
So 30% of ENI is owned by the government of Italy, and those shares, in a sense, still wield a majority. While other people may trade their shares, etc., etc., the 30% is owned by the government. So you actually have a company that is undergirded by the government and is a main driver of the economy of Italy.
Minister Trotman said his next move will be to prepare a report to present to President David Granger for his consideration. Alexis Rodney for InfoHub.
Guyana's development hinges on the pillar of technology, which is one of the drivers of the Green State Development Strategy, which when adopted will become the national development blueprint for a green, inclusive and prosperous Guyana. More in this report. The inaugural GTT Innovate Summit was officially launched on Saturday at the Marriott Hotel. Minister of Business Dominic Gaskin said all industries can benefit in a number of ways from technology's usage. The Green State Development Strategy GSDS 2030 vision of becoming a fully green state will not be automatically achieved, the minister noted, but requires a course of action which is largely dependent on the inclusion of technology.
Technology will play a significant role. Guyana's draft Green State Development Strategy is close to completion and will be finalized through consultations with various stakeholders. It is expected that once adopted, it will become a blueprint for national development. Its 2030 vision for a green, inclusive, and prosperous Guyana is not something that is automatically achieved once we get to 2030. We have to follow a course of action to get there, and technology will be a major factor in getting us there.
Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Telephone and Telegraph Company, Justin Ned, underscored that a telecommunications network is not about empty talk, but is serious about showcasing the experts in technology.
But ultimately, it is left up to us and our children and our children's children to really make a difference. So this really is about getting the children involved, opening their minds, and giving them a place that they can form thoughts of their own.
First Lady Sandra Granger, who plays a role in pushing the establishment of science, technology, engineering and mathematics, STEM Guyana robotics clubs throughout Guyana, was present at the event and visited several booths. Cosplay, robotics and gaming were some of the features of the event. The National Park's facilities are now further enhanced following the installation of solar-powered streetlights. Renetta LaFleur has the details.
A total of 45 integrated standalone solar-powered LED streetlights were installed at the park to ensure safety and cut cost. At the unveiling ceremony last Friday evening, GEA's head, Dr. Mahender Sharma, said the initiative represents significant savings for the national park.
These are 80-watt lights that are replacing existing 250-watt inefficient lights that were there before. So that is the reason for the savings that I'm talking about. This is not the only initiative. You may have heard of our earlier work in Bartica, where we installed 20 similar solar-powered streetlights, and we had done 12 solar-powered streetlights in the Stabroek market.
The $8.1 million venture involved the replacement of mercury vapor lamps rated at 250 watts with the more energy-efficient 80-watt solar-powered LED. The solar lights are designed to dim by 50% when no motion is detected and return to 100% brightness when motion is detected. Commissioner for Protected Areas Commission Denise Fraser said the savings accrued can be directed towards the maintenance and rehabilitation of the national park.
We are very happy now to be able to have solar lights in the park. It has been estimated that there are about 1,000 users in this national park every day. So these are the people who are going to be benefiting from these solar lights, in addition to the fact that we will be saving on our electricity bill.
The lights avoid the use of fossil-based energy from the grid and are not affected by power failures. Renetta LaFleur for InfoHub.
We now bring you our final report from Sanika Thorne. She tells us that residents of the Palms Geriatric Institution on Brigdam will now have access to improved services following the commissioning of an infirmary and outpatient clinic today.
The $18 million facilities will serve the over 100 residents being housed at the Palms Geriatric Home.
Minister of Social Protection Amna Ali explained that the project is part of the government's effort to ensure that the country's senior receive the best possible care whilst at the public institution.
We cannot bypass our elderly, and every day we look at the improvement of the services that we can provide for our elderly at the Palms. Today this is a manifestation to show that we really do care for the elderly of the Palms.
The infirmary is equipped with an infectious ward, a doctor's office, an observation ward, while the outpatient clinic has a waiting area, a doctor's office, and a dispensary. Director of Social Services Wentworth Tanner explained that the infectious ward is specifically catered for those persons with communicable diseases. This will ensure that they are not mixed with the other patient.
So we took a lot of things into consideration. There are special bath rails, special bath stools to ensure that the best possible care can be provided here for persons who are either transitioning from the George Road Hospital back to the Palms.
There will be 2 medical doctors who will be on call 24 hours per day, along with 3 nurses per shift at the facilities. Reporting from the Palms Geriatric Home on Brickdam, I am Cynical Thorne.
Thanks for watching. Connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.